Welcome back to Golioth. My name is Chris Gamble, and today we're going over the brand new settings service that's part of Golioth. This is something you can immediately put in your projects, both on our ESP IDF SDK, which was recently released, and we're going to be looking at here today, and also the Zephyr and NCS SDKs that are also available. This works in both, and we are committed to supporting all new SDKs that come out. So what is the settings service? Basically, when you want to propagate a particular variable or value down to every device in your fleet, this is a very easy way to do it and very friendly. As you might imagine, it gets really hairy to try and juggle all of the different variables you might want to do, especially as you say you have devices that are looking for 100 different variables, and then you need to just change just that one device in the field. Well, you might want to know exactly that one has changed, or you might want to move up a level and say only this device type if you have multiple devices in your project, or you might want to do it at a project level. So let's take a look at that here today. First thing I'm going to do is go into the ESP IDF. Like I said, we're using that here. I'm going to just fast forward ahead. I've already compiled the Golioth basic sample that Nick and Mike showed last week. If you haven't seen, go and check that out. But what I'm going to do is basically just tap into the idf.py monitor. This has already been flashed down to my device, and so it's just going to be monitoring this device. It's going to go and connect to the Wi-Fi. Maybe. Sometimes on the first try it doesn't connect, but then almost always it does on the second try. And now we see that we have a couple things here. We have OT manifest is up to date. We know that basically these are some LightDB values that we're passing and getting back from the cloud. And then finally, this is the settings loop. This is what we're going to be looking at here today. And so I'm going to go into the settings page. This is a newer section of the Golioth console.golioth.io. And if you haven't already seen that, it should be available there for you now. Now what you see is that I've already put in loop delay S. This is actually the default thing built into the Golioth basics demo and sample code. And so if you go and put this into your settings, you'll go and compile that code like Mike and Nick did, load it to an ESP32, connect it to the Golioth network. You will also be able to pass this value down to it. And so now this is on the project level, right? So we basically set this for all projects. Let's do the first thing here and just go and change this. Let's do like this. I'm gonna move it down here. I'm gonna go and change this value. Very easy, just to show that it is working. Nothing up my sleeve, folks. And immediately it receives that updated value. Not that different from a LightDB state change, but it's the magic here is going to be coming in the next section. So let's go and turn off this again, the terminal. And now I'm going to show you basically another feature that you may have seen if you're on the Golioth console in the past, which is blueprints. And so this is what I mentioned. If you wanted to have a different device, or say a different chipset like we're showing here, or perhaps you have a board with different sensors on it, you might want to just bifurcate your fleet of devices. And that's exactly what I did. I have 4 devices. 2 of them have ESP32S2 and 2 of them have ESP32. And so we're going to go and change just the ESP32S2 blueprint value. What we should see is that the value has propagated down to this from the project, right? So we had the device setting here, loop delay S. We see that it's set at the project level currently. I'm going to go and change this to be, let me make sure I have my nothing up my sleeve here thing. So I'm going to change this from 4 to 5, and let's see how it does. Oh, this is not gonna, that's gonna get in the way here. Okay, hopefully that works. All right, we hit from 4 to go to 5. Hit save, and we should see nothing update here because the ESP32, just the ESP32, not the ESP32S2, has not been changed. And so this has been changed at the blueprint level. Now, if I go back up one level in blueprint and I go to ESP32, we should see that it's still set at the project level. So it's basically a set of inheritance. And so this is anything that is set as an ESP32, which the multi-sensor board is set at the project level. Let's go into the particular device itself. So now we're looking at the data directly from the device here. And so we can go into settings. We see that it's in sync, meaning it actually checks whether or not it's received the latest setting to that device. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna specifically just change this one device. So once again, let's get our screen up here. And we're gonna change this to every 1 second. And now this loop delay is at 1 second. Now, what's happening in the code here is that basically each and every time, this is really just setting how often the loop is running. So there's a delay in the loop, and then what it's doing is it's changing the counter based on that. So we can actually go and check, is it actually changing every second? So this is the auto refresh. This is actually this is a slightly new feature as well, but basically we'd say every time you receive a new piece of data, just go and update the LightDB state here. And so we can see that it has been set to every 1 second. So now I'll go and change it to something a little more obvious here. Let's go change this to 5 seconds. Okay, you see it's out of sync. Now it's in sync. We've got the message here as well. And then we should be able to go back to LightDB state. And we see that the counter now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, do I know how to make exciting television or YouTubing for all of you out there. But basically, we can see that this has been passed down. So hopefully the thing that you got from my explanation here is, the actual setting itself doesn't really matter that much. It's going to be something on the device itself that you want to change. Is basically a variable that you're setting. But the really important thing is how it inherits this on a project, on a blueprint, or on a individual device level. Like I said, this is the, where's the other one that's in here? So this is the other ESP32. This one should still be at the project level. And so it's also not connected, so that one doesn't really matter there. So really, it's all about how you are interacting with the various devices you have and how you want to push settings down to those devices. This is a really useful interface if you have people out in the field or if you have people managing your devices for you. Not only that, like any feature that's on the Golioth console here, this is all available in the REST API. So if you have an app developer who wants to make these changes as well, you don't necessarily have to do this through the console. You can go and query what variables are set up, create new variables, and then finally push new values to those variables as well, which is really useful when you are building out your fleet to make lots and lots of devices, do lots and lots of interesting things in the Internet of Things. So if you have any questions about this, you can always go over to our forum. That's forum.golioth.io. You can go to our Discord, which is Golioth.io/Discord. And finally, we'll have more videos here about upcoming features. We actually have another one here that you might have seen on the screen, which we will be explaining shortly. Thanks for watching. Please share with other people and subscribe for updates here. We'll see you in the next video.